Okay, hello everyone. Here I'm going to be going over my general off-tank build. As an off-tank, you need to understand that you are not trying to be tanky. Essentially, in the main tank role, you are not trying to be tanky either. Your main role as a tank is to support your group. You are a support role.
I wish I was off adventuring.
Get that through your head first thing. If you are not supportive to your group, you are not at endgame. Because at endgame,
This is taking longer.
you don't need to be tanky. You don't need to be selfish. And you shouldn't be. It's unnecessary. So that being said, let's go into the off-tank gear. Here. First, here's a stat sheet, sorry. This is unbuffed stat sheet, well actually buffed, sorry. With hardened armor up. Let's let that run out. Tri-stat food, vampirism, astronaut Guamadness stone. Here we are. About 24k health. Almost 31k stam, 18k magicka. This is an Argonian, obviously. Look at that beautiful tail. 1800 magic recovery, 32 crit, like 1900 weapon damage. That's general stats. Here, we're going to look at our gear here. Here, jewelry, we're running 3 magicka enchants, magic recovery enchants, high cost jewelry, robust. Then we are running 5 powerful assault body pieces, all infused with Akijos. We are also wearing Lord Warden, 1 heavy, 1 light, so that's 5 medium powerful assault, a heavy head, and a light shoulder, all Akijos. I put Akijos specifically because I am an Argonian, and I think the Argonian is the best off-tank, in my opinion. Simply because it can push the most sustain with max stats. That's just my opinion. As a tank, you can tank in any race. That being said, best races for off-tank, I would go Argonian, then Imperial, then Orc, then Nord, and then the rest is pretty much the same. Doesn't matter too much on race as a support role. You need to understand that as well. And again, as Argonian, I did go tri-stat glyphs to push the entire max stat pool. A max stat pool so I can get the highest stats for the Argonian potion passive, which I really like. There it is, 12% of your max health, stam, and magicka whenever you drink a potion. Push your max stats, you get more returns there. That's the idea behind running Akijos. Akijos will give you more max stats altogether. Other thing you don't take into account is in my other builds I will run only stamina, because the mentality behind that is to sustain yourself with the highest stat pool possible in your stamina, so you get the most return out of your Igneous. But in this case, it is most beneficial to run the max stats overall instead of pumping directly into stamina, especially being Argonian. So again, infused body pieces, you should get infused on the shoulders and head, but I don't really have that just yet, so I just run That's 30 in reinforced. Again, I would go all infused. For the weapons, main hand is always infused with a crusher enchant. You want to infuse because that crusher enchant will push the debuff on boss. Big DPS increase for your group. Shields, you want to use you want to use infused on your shields. Again, with your max stat pool. But I have reinforced ones with health. A back bar, you ideally want powered. Or defending, I don't think the back bar matters too much, you're not really spending time on that bar. But I still think powered would be best. Back to the stat sheets, I want to get to at least 25k health as an off tank. And I don't think there's a need for any more. As an off tank, you're not going to be susceptible to as much damage as the main tank would. And the main tank only needs 26k health. 25k health as well, sorry. 26k with it. So with Eben, I'll be at about 25k health right now. And that's my standard for an off tank, 25k health. Very simple. We are using tri-stat food, must have. Potions, we are using tri-stat potions, only potions you should be using as a tank. Max health, max magic, max stamina, and all 3 recoveries as well. It's the most beneficial to run, I think at least. You can run weapon power pots as an off tank, but I still think it's more beneficial to run tri-stat for the recoveries and get more skills out of it instead of the increased weapon power. But again, you can change those out. This is just my personal preference. It's up to you. And again, this is just a guide. You don't have to follow what I say exactly. This is just a guide. Next, we're going to go into skills. Here on the front bar, Hardened Armor, Mystic Guard, Igneous Shield, Echoing Vigor, Fierce Armor, Replenishing Barrier. Here, a lot of people do not run Hardened Armor because you don't really need it as an off tank, but I prefer to run it just because of the passive here. Increase received while Draconic Power is active, so 12% extra healing, and gives you the Major Ward and Resolve. I don't even have the passive level up all the way, just to give you an idea. So again, Hardened Armor, Mystic Guard, this is for when instances where you need to guard the main tank and share the damage. This morph is more beneficial because it gives you minor vitality. That healing received is gigantic, if you ask me. Next, Igneous Shield, the bread and butter, Major Mending, as well as the stamina back from the Earthen Heart passive, Helping Hands. 5% max stam when you cast an Earthen Heart ability. 30k max stam, 5% each Igneous, you do the math. Stack Magic Recovery, and you could Igneous all day. And return your stam while blocking. Very simple. Here is our heal. This is Echoing Vigor. The other morph is Resolving Vigor, and that is a selfish morph. Again, as a support role, you want to support your group. It's unnecessary to self-heal yourself, especially when you have healers that are on point. Echoing Vigor will allow you to reach more people and ultimately bring out more heals. More support to your group this way. More beneficial for you. this is the better morph. Pierced armor for the major breach and fracture, and your taunt. Replenishing barrier on the front bar for the magic aid passive under the support skill line. My support's not leveled up all the way, but here in the magic aid, once you get it to support 9, it'll be 5% for each ability. It'll be 10%, sorry. 10% for each ability. And here, as off tank, typically you're gonna have 2 support abilities in guard and barrier. So that would be 20% extra magic recovery. Big thing. Another thing to have here, by the way, while we're in skills, medicinal use, must have. No reason not to have it. Level up your alchemy and get that extra bonus from your potions. Really big help, especially being Argonian. Have your support leveled, have your Undaunted leveled, especially as off tank, and get the extra pulls and bonus to synergies. Another passive and thing, we're going to be Vampire for the recovery, that's 10% all around. And the Undeath passive. Undeath is ridiculous. No reason not to have it. So if you think about it, having those 2 support abilities and supernatural recovery, that's 30% extra magicka and stamina recovery for your tank. No reason not to have it. Fire damage is wimpy, no reason. You want to have these one trees leveled. So all the 1 armor passives, meaning the one that require 1 piece of the armor type, should all be leveled. And you should have those. Of course, have your basic skill lines leveled up and all your passives. On the back bar, I typically run Elude. And I run Elude specifically because you are in medium armor and it lasts for so much longer. Each piece of medium armor worn increases the duration of this ability by 5%. We're wearing 5 pieces, that's 25% longer. I think it's very beneficial. I like it. You have to double bar guard in most scenarios. Otherwise it'll drop. So here's guard on the back bar. We are running orbs. I do not have it morphed, but once you do, you want to morph this into energy orb. This is on the Undaunted skill line. You want to make this the energy orb, the healing morph. It is more beneficial as an off tank to run the energy orb morph, the healing morph, more support for your group, and extra sustain for them. Should have. Here, a heroic slash for the minor heroism and the minor maim. The main tank should be running this, but on other things you can put it on. So that's a big plus for your group as well as the heroism for you. Here's your range taunt, just in case you need it. This is your secondary taunt in case things get away from you or if you need the range of it. I highly recommend the stamina morph because with this build you will always have stam and you will never have magicka. That's the logic behind it. You might want to watch my other videos if you have something to say about that. And the back bar, the #1 ultimate in the game for support roles and the only one you should ever use in trial is Aggressive Warhorn. I really don't think I need to say anything about that. Aggressive Warhorn is a must-have. Big thing, as off tank you will be required to do other things, such as chain and pull, and talon. So when you do have to do such things, this is what I do. I just change the, what's it called, and then I move this here, sorry. I take orbs off. Right here. So, for instance, during Ma, when you need to tank and chain
Nobody comes out of
cats or anything like that, this would be my bar setup. Chain and Talon and the range shot still available to you, and you don't need to throw out orbs, especially if the healers are running orbs efficiently. Another thing,
I always say.
if and in most instances you will not have to guard the main tank. I just put that there solely out of focus. What you can do is put Absorb Magic and either Purge or Ring of Preservation. So other instances where you're stacking, like the Mage in hard mode AA, you can put down this ring. On hard mode BMO, you can put down this ring, and you have Absorb Magic. There are instances where you can even take off Absorb Magic and put Purge on your front bar, because you don't need guard. Or you could even put guard back on and guard somebody else other than the main tank. But it's not necessary. By putting Purge on your front bar, you get that other Magic AA passive. And there's your 10% recovery from having Purge, the other 10% from Barrier, and you get that bonus. Because most of the time you will not need Absorb Magicka. If you're having a hard time, I would slot Absorb Magicka for the passive reduced block cost. It's very beneficial for you. But again, typically I would run Absorb Magic on the front bar and either Purge or Preservation on the back bar. Either one. This should morph into Efficient Purge, by the way. I don't have it morphed yet. Looking over, that's all the skills that you're going to need as an off-tank. That's all the skills I would recommend to an off-tank, and all that I would have my off-tanks use.
It's taking longer than I'd planned.
So, again, that's skills. Went over here. Last thing is going to be champion points. Champion point wise, this red tree is really up for grabs. You can change it per trial, and it determines what you're doing, determined by what you're doing. So if I were doing VMAL, I'd have I'm just kind of like fooling around with CP right now. I don't off tank too much, so this whole tree is still kind of in question in my mind. But this being said, what I'm running right now, 100 here, 48 hardy, 28 thick skin, 100 ally defender, sorry. So that's getting 1 bastion for the igneous, quick recovery, and these points in heavy armor focus. You don't really need these, you could probably put them here. But again, this whole red tree, I just don't know exactly. It'll change on trial and your group. Just up to you to be aware and change it accordingly to what you need. Be aware. As off tank, I run 100 in Arcanist in the green tree. And then in the split here, I do 62 and 38. 62 Warlord, 38 Magician. We'll be using a lot more Stam, a lot more Vigors, and an off tank would. I mean a main tank would, sorry. Sorry, my blunder. And this is what I run on my off tank. 62 then 38. You could just balance these out, and technically that would be the most gain to you, but I find that this split is more beneficial to me and my playstyle. You can also take some points out of here and put them here into Tumbling, or even into Shadow Ward, but you don't really need these. As off tank, you're not blocking that much. I don't think it's necessary. Here in the blue tree is always 100 in the Blessed, always, always, always. And then I put like a 3-to-1 split here between Precise Strikes and Mighty. Your crit's at like 30%, so you're going to be critting a lot more than you would think. And Precise Strikes multiplies that I put these points in Mighty because of diminishing returns, and some damage, extra damage is more than no damage. Kind of thing. And it adds up over time. So, that's my CP. That's a general setup. Changes by trial, and it's up to you to be aware. Other than that, I've covered skills, gear, and champion points. The rest is going to be up to you to learn the fights and what you need to do per fight. Work with your group, learn the fight, learn the strat, and you'll be fine. That being said, I have strategies for each trial from the main tank point of view, and you can see what the off tank is doing in each of those videos.
This is taking longer than I'd planned.
All on my channel under the main tank build. Again, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that thing, share if you could too. Nice.
I wish I was off adventuring.
Regardless, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.